So tell me this, write down, what does an average day look like for you?
An average day for me, much like a lot of these folks around here, we wake up with 15 fucking problems to solve before noon. These folks around here are worried about freezing to death. I worry about freezing to death. We have issues that need to be solved before noon, and if they're not solved before noon, then we get to freeze or starve. So when I wake up, first thing on my mind is heat. Second thing on my mind is food. Third thing on my mind is usually whiskey, to be honest with you, and a cigarette.
Walked in strong, thought I was free. Fire in my chest, world under me. Curtains fall, truth starts to show. First to shine, last to know.
The will to live is beholding, and the ones on the streets remain in tune to that will. On any given night, there's over 600,000 unhoused Americans. In Colorado, homelessness has risen more than 200% in the last decade. And we work with them every day, and we've gotten to know them. Tonight we'll sleep out with them. I just want to sincerely say thank you to the ones that shared their stories with us today. These are stories paved with loss and illness, addiction, trauma, broken systems, cracks too wide for anyone to cross alone. We see you, and we hear you.
When I was 15, 'cause me and my mom were struggling to get along, I went and sat in a library for the summer and learned enough to pass the California High School Proficiency Exam, which is you have to pass it at B or better of the high school students. It had stupid questions like, if you went to the store and you can only carry 3 cans of tuna and you bought 10, how many trips do you take? That's the type of questions you had to answer to pass this thing. I mean, it was dumb. But I was too young to take the GED, which is much harder. And that way I was able to go to college. So I moved to Santa Barbara and went to college for like 9 years, a lot of remedial stuff.
I was gonna be a professional golfer, and COVID happened, and I had to move back into my mom's house, and life kind of just went downhill afterwards. Making sure that she is safe, she has a warm place to stay, and that's an average day for me. She is what makes me happy.
I was just about to ask you what makes you smile or laugh.
Dustin.
Is she funny?
Dustin makes me laugh, and so does the Hornbuckle.
She does.
There you go. What's your name?
Brandon. I was in prison for a year and 6 months. And before that, I was staying in Littleton, actually behind the Life Center. I am trying to become a stable, to have a stable job, as well as start my own company, and maybe even work with an organization telling my story to help people with opioid addiction.
What's your name?
Bradley Thompson. I was homeless for 9 years. I had just gotten out of prison, went back to using drugs quite frequently. I was using anywhere between an 8-ball of meth to a 1/4 ounce of meth daily. And after about 7 years of being out on the streets, I asked myself what I was doing with my life and started searching for new ends to meet. And I came across the Life Center in downtown Littleton a few years ago. and I got hooked up with Donna Norton. You guys yourselves, Hornbuckle Foundation at the point in time.
Putting stuff on the table, he was like throwing it, like didn't care. Boom, boom.
So we've got a lot of things that are done here, run through a program we call Work to Earn. You'll see some people that are working around today, but really the program focuses on making sure that people are putting into the system that's helping them. So we've got lockers here. People are welcome to volunteer for 2 hours, and then they get a locker for a month. If they want to get a locker, they can also get showers through this program, clothing through this program. They can get a lot of different things through this program. So right behind me, we've got a shower room. It has a washer, a dryer, and a toilet just all in one room. So someone can have the room for 1 hour or 2 hours, depending on what they're doing. And they just get to take over the room, have a little bit of space, and make sure that they can shower in peace. 2 rooms that we have for resource navigation. Hornbuckle comes in. We've got a lot of other different programs. We just got recently a dental hygienist that now comes in as well. And so people come in, they utilize the rooms. That way all of our friends can get wraparound services here on site. Okay, this is the back storage room of our food bank, where we have just a ton of the food that we've purchased or we're gathering from different stores throughout the area. We currently pick up from 10 different stores, bring it to the Life Center, sort all the food, make sure that it's good to go, and then after that, we also purchase some food as well. So even if the grocery stores don't give us anything at all, we still have something to give away to our clients.
We just trying to be festive, right? We're out here trying to have some fun. When I look back to when I was homeless, I wanted the help. I really did. I was trying to get sober for probably 5 years of my addiction before I could really figure it out. At that time, there wasn't somebody out there like me or like Ronnie or Raymond who would come and, give you a hug and say, "What do you need, brother?" We're like, how can we really figure this out? It's working. In the month of October, we got 27 people off the streets. In the month of November, we had 25 people off the streets. And it's continuing to happen. And we're gaining momentum, and people know who we are, and they know that we're somebody that they can trust to get to the next phase of their life. With that, the same way that we've taken it upon us to use service as kind of like the cornerstone and foundation for purpose in our lives, how can they lean on this community, and how can this community show up for each other in that same way for our goals for 2026?
I got clean 9 years ago and went into a Celebrate Recovery for 5 years, and I remained clean. But I was in the motel system for about 7 years, and then I found myself in my car, and now I don't have a car, so.
What makes you smile and laugh?
Jesus, my kids, my family.
You experience people looking away from you?
Yeah, sure.
What would you prefer they say instead of looking away?
God bless.
What gives you hope?
God.
Faith in God, man. It's one thing that you wish the world to know about Mr. Richard.
That I love Jesus.
I'm interested in this one. What makes you smile or laugh?
Music. Music, literally, I can't breathe without it.
Is it okay?
I live in a 4x8 area with my brother. My brother loves TV. TV. I hate fucking TV. It's like being in prison, which we all know. You share a 5x10 square foot area with another man, typically. And music is my only way out. I can do time. I can live in a van. I cannot live in a van and be on a street corner. If I got a set of headphones, I'm good.
how do I get through tough days? I mean, I listen to good music, you know. Yeah, I mean, like I just got off the streets and everything. You know, I went through sober living, and you know, I've left a lot of like the drug stuff behind. I was heavily using every single day.
At one point, I felt like I was not meant for anything in life besides being a drug addict. And then when I finally got sober, I realized I could do things and help other people. And at that point, because I like to help people so much, I just decided to stick with sobriety for as long as I could. Unfortunately, I relapsed back in July, but I'm now sober again. Been sober for 3 weeks. Sorry.
I always have a good attitude, you know, even like days when I want to just say fuck it, excuse my language, you know, but I just want to say screw it sometimes, you know, but I always have to keep doing the same thing, and I have to get up every day, you know, and do good, because if not, like, you know, I can always go back to what I was doing, and I really didn't like that.
At 25, my mom was really sick. I moved my dad and my mom from Arizona out to an apartment next to me. I was paying both rents and stuff. And then I was afraid my mom would never get to see her grandkids. So I had a baby at 25. So she got to see her, actually both of her one grandbaby before she passed. She didn't get to see the other one. But he was born 13 years later. I just couldn't afford Santa Barbara anymore. It was really expensive. And I was supporting my dad and my son. And I had a gastric bypass, which can sometimes throw you into a midlife crisis a little early at 34. And found a new set of friends that introduced me to drugs and a whole bunch of things I'd never done before. And it kind of fucked up my life. I sent him to live with his dad and his stepmother when he was 2. My other one went to his dad at 10 when I lost my place, you know. Social services seems to think that if you do drugs, that you're automatically a bad parent. People seem to think if you do drugs, you're automatically a bad person. And you're not. You're the same person you were before. You know, you just do drugs. You know, you have an addiction. It doesn't make you a bad person. I don't understand why people don't get that.
Have I done my part? Is it okay if I just stay a while?
We stayed on the streets for 4.5 months because, I mean, we could go to sober living, but because we're not married, they wanted to separate us, and we refused to be separated. So we stayed in a tent down
Inglewood, Sheridan.
Basically, it was your and Raymond's story, you know, like there's been a few times that we've wanted to give up it and just say, screw it. But, you know, seeing you and Raymond and every one of you all strive and want better for everybody else, and then just, you know, constantly losing everything, just wanting better for us, period.
For me, it's wanting to be where you and Raymond are.
When we first met them, they were living in a tent, and they stayed sober in the tent out here. The first sober living we got them into, it was the couple's house with Dogstar, and it was on a whim, kind of like I ran into Josie at an event, at a resource event, and I kind of just pitched their story to her, and she was like, I want to meet them. And that was kind of their first step off the streets.
They continue to show up and work with us, continue to utilize the tools that they had learned, and kept the support system going. You know, they kept reaching out to us, and they made it through. They were there for about 2 months, right?
Yeah.
About 2 months, and progressed even further, they got a job in Keystone, and they're housed and employed full time.
If I just stay a while.
Getting up, trying to scrounge enough money to either get drugs or food or something to eat or a safe place to stay. As a female, it's really dangerous to sleep at night. I've been raped twice in my sleep over the years, you know, woken up to it. So I learned a long time ago sleep was bad. Kevin was, he's always suicidal, so he was trying to study himself to death all the time. He'd OD 3-4 times a week. I mean, it was bad. That's what I thought would kill him, not a heart attack. It had to be a broken heart, because he's...
To the average person, these stories can incite fear. And that's okay, that's human. However, it matters what one chooses to do with that fear. Our message continues to be one of gentleness and compassion. Too often in this world, we see people punching down. And if not for the helping hand of a lot of people, myself and most of the people I know wouldn't be here.
People have changed, or society has changed on how they view us. And they look at us really, really negatively now. They were never mean before, and now they're like mean. Yeah. I hope you have a better day. Even just, some wish of kindness. So even if they say I'll pray for you, or I hope you have a better day, or I wish you luck. Just be kind.
Yeah, there's been a few times we've had to cut some things short just to go hold some space with you.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it all.
Of course, brother.
Love you.
I love you too, man.
I say it's more of a family than what it is foundation.
I got one more question for you guys, okay? How would you describe yourself to someone who's never met you?
A recovering drug addict that wants everybody to do better.
Want better and do better.
Want better, do better.
And show them that there's more out there than just the streets.
You can continue to get high and struggle, or you can connect with the right people and do the work to introduce yourself to people that can help you get off the streets, which is what I did. And that's my advice, is just to keep your head up and to keep pushing forward, because it's not always gonna be the exact same thing.
I know for a fact, without a doubt, that I could come to work any day and not have shoes or socks, and somebody who has been homeless for 30 years, who has only a pair of shoes and socks, will peel them off their feet just to give them to me and not worry about what they're gonna do.
Absolutely.
And that type of kindness is the change that's needed in this world.
There's a paradox that people will notice when they spend time with the unhoused. That those who have the least often give the most.
I watch the people that I work with and serve continuously show up for each other in ways that you wouldn't imagine.
Community is their safety net. They value human connection more than possessions.
I think it's just because when you give, you receive, and I think people know that.
Through smiles on other people's faces. Only when I don't have something that they want.
Lord Jesus, we just ask you to fill us up, fill this place up with your presence. We ask you to bless each person that's here in a way that they don't expect, and in some way that really surprises them, and let them know that you are loving on them. We ask you to bless this food and to bless us, so that we in turn can be a blessing to each other. And I pray that in Jesus' name. Amen.
What keeps you going on tough days?
Music, coming here and helping these people, bringing Sadie here to help to see the joy on other people's faces when I bring her. That's what keeps me going.
You're the third person in a row to say music after that question.
Yeah, it gets me too, dog.
Thank you for reminding me who and why I am. For reminding me that there is no them and us. That there is only us, dying to be seen.
It's real. It's real.
For connection. And dying for hope. Dying to live.
And when you pray for hope and for the courage to believe, I said, glory be to you. Yeah. And when the storm became snow and you shivered in your sheets, I said, glory be to you. And when he knocked on my door, said, I have no place to sleep, I said, glory be to you. And when you turned around to go and you couldn't hear me speak, I said, glory be to you. Glory be to you. Glory be to you.